Good. So start now, right?
Yes. So if I can introduce you, this is Nary Vin and her daughter Tif Vin, and I am very excited that I get to interview them today because they're going to share their amazing journey, their amazing Shackley story. So that's Tif and Nary Vin. Thank you, guys. So whichever one of you, I think, Nary, why don't you go first and tell us how in the world, tell us your story. Go back to your beginning of, I love your story of where you came from.
Oh, so beautiful. Nina, it's my honor to be speaking with you today. You've been around for so long, and you're very humble, and you have earned an amazing trip. The last trip you went to, you were with Roger Bonnet in his private jet.
Oh, yes.
And you got him serve you instead of you serve him. So it's amazing. Congratulations for being around. And because of you guys, that's why we are here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Nary Vin, Senior Master here in California. I have a daughter sitting next to me, Tiffany Vin, Ski Coordinator. And I love to share my story. Prior to Shackley, I was a jungle girl in Cambodia, running around in the jungle for years. And during the war, in the communist, have you heard of Khmer Rouge, the killing fields?
Oh.
For a long time, almost 4 years, we were stuck in the Khmer Rouge. It's like living in the dark. There's no day, there's no light. A little bit of food, a little bit of drink, homeless, didn't have a proper place to sleep in, the proper educations. And, we thought, because we didn't know any better. So it was, to our parents that knows better. It's very difficult. And my sisters that are people that are older, they have a very complicated time to understand why things happen the way it happened. But as a teenager, we also very depressing because it was a shock, like a big shock to us what happening. But because we didn't know any better, we just stick around to do our best to feed ourselves, to do what it takes to survive. So the job is about to survive.
I have decided not to do this.
It's everything.
So if you could just order the others.
So anyways, I had, my mom is a single mom. There's 6 of us. I'm the 4th one. And I have my brother, the youngest one. The older sister, they were living in the different concentration camps. And me, my younger sister, and my brother stick with my mom because of our age. We were younger than 18 years old. And I had to work for the community. My job was to find food, to meet quota every day. If I didn't get to find food for the community, I didn't get to eat. My punishment was to either slap upside the head and not get to eat. So every day I gotta be creative. What it takes to meet the quota. So to actually find food for the community. And my dad, he's the first guy who got killed when the communists came. He had to turn himself in so the family could survive. And then we will vacate from our original town to go live in the countryside so that we can hide our identity, that nobody would know that my dad used to be working for the army under London. London was under American regime. So 1975, the communists came in, were stuck there. 1979, the Vietnamese invaded Cambodia and were stuck in a camp, a concentration camp between Thailand and Cambodia for another 6 years before we get to come to America. My dad, before he turned himself in, he told my mom, he said, if you happen to be out of country, you want to go to America because it's the land of opportunity. and we don't know America. We didn't even know Thailand. We didn't even know Vietnam. How would I know what America looked like and what kind of opportunity America has to offer? But what I was grateful for my mom, she's a visionary woman who stay very strong, you know, just taking care of the kids and protect the kids, not to be raped, not to be killed. We were running around in the bullets like raining, and for some reason, God preserved us to be here, not went blind, not get our feet cut off and test and spill like the rest of the people that we have seen every single day, got shot, got killed, and here we are. Um, Came to America in 1984, didn't speak a word of English. Then I got a dress that donated from the church. I mean, yeah, from the church in the Philippines. That was our last camp. And the shoes that got donated from my cousin who came to California in 1981 and then gave me a pair of shoes. I still remember it was like a high heels too. It's some as to my sister, they're like, "You're such an embarrassment. You're a young adult wearing high heel in the camp. Nobody would do that. Red shoes and you know,
That's why you still like
dress
red shoes.
like a little house on the prairie. The dress that I got is like um to me, I was grateful because I never had a dress. What all I had in the camp is like, a one short skirt that my mom donated. One, she tore in half, one for me, one for Paramount, my younger sister in Minnesota. And I didn't have a shirt and it got torn for many years. So to have a dress is like, wow, I fold it, I only wear it in the special occasions. And then the pairs of shoe, I appreciate it. And the plastic bag that people gave us food, in the camp, in the bus before we landed to the plane. We got like, some food that they give it to us. And the ICM, your tags, like when we go to a Shaklee conference, they give you your name tags, and then with your name on it, and just get on the plane and got so excited just to come to America, with our whole family. So when I got to San Francisco, my grandma, my cousin, and my aunt, they came to California in Santa Ana in 1981, and then they asked my mom, if you want to come to join your family, so what state you want to be in? My mom said California because that's where my grandma and my aunt was at. So we like, okay, come to California. We don't know the weather, we don't know anything, but in the camp we get to learn how to use the bathroom, how to use refrigerator and all that good stuff. Before we came, a little bit of educational, and then how to use certain things, but we didn't really remember because our focus wasn't how to use those things, but to be, come to America and hoping to have a safe place to stay and a little bit food to eat. That's what we were expecting. So when finally we were landing in San Francisco, that was my first destination. And around 6 p.m., I saw all the lights, city lights, and that's where I lit up, like my brain lit up. And I told myself, wow, this is such a land of opportunity. It's amazing. They got lights everywhere in the house, in the buildings. It means that there's more freedom, there's more job, there's more education. So when I grew up, I always want to be the best I can be, like an army.
Yeah.
I want my parents, my relative to be proud of me. I want to change the world. I don't know how, but I always want to help people to have a better life and a better opportunity, but I never can figure it out. But when I came to United States, I want to get education because it's free. I went to high school, junior high, of the end of 7th grade, got dropped in 8th grade, without a word of English, and then maintained to graduate it one semester early from high school. Then get a job for like a couple months while I was in high school. I hate the job. I don't like to work for people. I feel that I could do better independently. And, I got about two, three different jobs, didn't like it. So I committed myself not to work for people. I said, I'm going to go to school. I want to be a corporate lawyer. And then I got arranged marriage so early when I was, before high school to Tiffany's dad. And then he said that lawyer don't make money. Go get a job so I can sponsor my family. Boom, I had to get a job so that went to. I said, what I'm good at. He said, you good with people. I am. Okay, so what were you want to do? Well, real estate. Okay, went to real estate, became successful in full 3 years. And then I got someone who see me very successful in real estate, asked me to say, hey, why don't you work for insurance company too, so you can do both and you can get the benefit. And I say, oh wow, I could do that. So I jumped into Metropolitan, the top 10 company, one of the top 10 company in the world. So I got so successful, was the number one Southern California, number 7 outside of 35,000 agents. So I got so excited and I lost track of real estate and just did the insurance full time. And then after that, I got major accident in 2000, one accident after another, and I became disabled for 2 years. And then I said, you know what? I scared my own shadow. I couldn't drive anymore. And then what I did, I think about open a retail store so that people come to me. I thought it was that easy. I didn't know the liability behind retails, that you being your own slave, 16 hours a day, my own boss, my own slave. Sometimes I passed out watching TV, the bowl rise on top of my head, and being a single mom, trying to maintain the daughter and supporting her through her schools. And she's a teenager, she's depressing, she's, no mentor, no coach, a little bit of mentor and coach. I try to find, and we're all over the place. We move everywhere and anywhere, to experience different city, different people. And Tiffany told me, Mom, we move so much. Why don't we join the army so that we get the benefits? I wasn't like young enough to join the army. I was going to do that, the Navy, but I ruined 5,500 envelope when I was working as a secretary. I put the wrong stamp in the wrong place. Didn't follow instructions. So I'm not good at instruction, okay? I was all over the place. Just do how I feel it, what makes me happy. And then my health failed. And then I lost, to make my story short, I lost everything. Asset over $6 million over time. So, and then I lost, because I lost my health, and also due to employee investment, I couldn't rely on me. So I had hire a relatives who is like keep pocketed the money, because they know that, my health is going down. So they clean me out. I walk away from it. All I did just want to live. So I prayed, asked God, I want to be healthy. I want to, beside being healthier, I want the business has to be God's mission, travel the world. And I don't want to do it alone. I want a companion who is an LDS, and had sense of humor. And with Peter Paul, who was 300 pounds, no hair, no muscle, 20 years older. And I go, why me, Lord? But, because I also needed to help with an attorney to clean up my case. The guy who stole from me and sued me, and I had to do the cross complaint, and also cost me more over time. So Peter Paul jumped in, helped me without, and in return, I took him for a walk so that he could feel better from, walking, and then cook him a healthy meal. Cambodian foods tend to be a lot healthier. So that he lost a few pounds, and, in return. So 6 months later, I got introduced by Shaklee product by Carlos Blanco, one of my former sponsor, who introduced me to Shaklee. And then because I had really bad inflammation in my intestine, I almost died from stroke, heart attack. It was clogged, couldn't go to the bathroom, couldn't breathe. So I was interested in a healthy cleanse. And then he told me about more opportunity, more multivitamins, and I got excited. So I said, wow, I want to feel better. And then Peter Paul said, wait a minute, before you join, let me do all the checkout to make sure Shockley has no problem with all the lawsuit, FTC, FCC, whatever the government agencies that he was trying to investigate. And he said, I know Shockley's. And I was 7 years old when I came to United States from Holland. Dr. Shockley was launching his company since 1956. That's when Peter Paul came from Netherlands to America. So it's easy for him to remember. And then 1915, when Dr. Shockley created the first multivitamin called Vitalized Mineral, it's his grandpa's birthday. So it was so coincident. And then he did the research for 24 hours without paying him. And then he said, wow, Shockley's so impressed. I mean, very impressive. There's no lawsuit with FTC, FDA, SEC. So he go ahead and join. You say, but what, the good look I didn't have? Because I was fallen, I was sick, no money. And he said, well, if you really want to do this, I can front you. And then Carlos said, oh, I want you to be part of my life and my business partner so I can help you too. So he helped me half of it and Peter Paul and covered the rest. And then I joined under the $5.99 gold pack. That time they have 750, the highest one, the smallest one, $2.99 gold pack. But I picked the middle one because, you know, I don't want to go too high or too low. And then I got invited to the home office a day after, withdraw like 7 hours to the home office to investigate the company to make sure Shockley it's existed in the company. So we fall in love with Roger Barnett philosophy and his team management. So we're impressed, came back, the product arrived. I took the product, Vitalizer for women, the Vivix, the anti-aging, and I took the immunity product, Nuciferon, and the Life Shakes. That time was a cinch, Life Shake, and then Metabolic Boost, Energizing Tea. And I lost 26 pounds. Peter Paul lost about 25 pounds. I felt better in 14 days. I looked better. And then when I went out with Peter Paul, it's like, man, you must won the lotto because you look much prettier, healthier, or you must be a multi-billionaire. That's why you look so good. You know, people think that when you look good, you feel good, you must have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And again, I just had Shockley, and it just made me feel like, man, I see this opportunity. It's like Shockley gave me an opportunity to dream again. And I look at, you know, Peter Paul helped me set up my website. I look at the website, and all I seen just white people. Don't mean to discriminate it, okay? I go, oh no, this is white people company. How do I make it? I'm Asian. I don't know anything about nutrition. I'm ignorant. How do I do this? I saw people went on trip, put their feet up on the ocean, on somewhere in the resort. I said, no way. I don't think this is real. This is a scam right here, marketing stuff. But I told Peter Paul, you know what? I'm not going to worry about how to make money now because I barely breathe and now I feel better. I just want to take the product to see how I feel in 30 days and more. But I can't shut up because when I take the product, I feel better. People keep telling me how good I look, how happy I am. So I start to call people, telling them story. And I got people, I give them sample, you know, and people loves it. They keep like asking me questions, and I go and share the opportunity. My first presentation was 12 hours sitting in people's home, no couch. People say, what are we doing here? You think these people can afford to buy Shockley? I said, hey, it's my practice. They let me in the house. So why not? So I share. It cost me $150 of sharing. And then I sold one small Herblax. I bought for $9. I gave it to them for $7. So I'm negative on top of negatives. And, you know, I borrow Peter Paul's money so I can buy more products so I can show and share. It's about $6,000, 3-4 boxes. Peter Paul went to their apartment, you know, in and out, and up and down. And then we sold $7 of herb lax. And then he goes,
Love
"Are
it.
you sure you're gonna make? Yeah, are you sure this business is gonna work for you?" While he said that, he put stuff inside the trunk. I was teared. My goodness, woe's me. And I committed. After that, I say, you know what? I'm gonna make it work because it's so not to make it work. And I know, and when you start it, it's not easy. It's very hard. And I know it's any business when you start it, it's not easy. You
Right.
gotta really commit it. Put your foot down and just do it. So I said, you know what? At least I don't have a building to maintain. You
Mhm.
know, I put a little bit of money to invest in my own health, choose a product, and share. And I know it's a good tax deduction because this business, when you give stuff away, um, I decided to put my feet down and I said, you know, I'm gonna learn more about the products. Peter Paul, do me a favor, help me learn about the products and business opportunity so I can go out there and share more and do more. So I decided while I'm sharing, talking to people, I'm not giving up on talking to people. People say no, I say not yet. I don't look at negative as a negative. And
Right.
yeah, I love objection. When people say no, I know I need to work on myself. What can I do to be better of myself?
Can I ask you a
Yeah.
question in there, Nary?
So I know.
You
Sure.
were the question that I have is you said yes, it's hard and everybody didn't go along with it. Was it harder for you to do this than it was for the insurance that you were so successful at?
Well, anything that when you first started, it's the same way. That's why I understand what it takes to, insurance was a lot harder because you cannot take insurance. You can buy your own insurance and tell them that I got a policy, but
Yep.
they still challenging you and say, hey, I'm not ready, especially Asian. Don't change my life. I'm not ready to die yet. I have to say, no, I don't sell that insurance. I sell life insurance. So I have to explain to them the protection of it and everything else. And it takes the same way. Be a love relationship. They trust you. You have to be the product of your own products. If
Yeah.
you don't have if I'm the insurance agent, if I don't have my own policy, they're not gonna believe me. I have to show them too. This is my policy, my daughter's policy. Oh wow, she's so young. Why you need to write her policy? Well, she got cheaper premium and all the stuff, right? When she get older, she be sad. So just like anything, it's like you started Shaklee, you wanna take the product, you wanna look like your product works. And then from there, they say, what are you using? And then you educated them and then they say, I want to do it. I want to look like you. I want to feel like you. Stuff like that. So that's why I say, wow. So Shaklee is much easier because you get to use the product, you put inside your system, you transform, you feel good, you look good, and it's easier for them to believe in you. And then from there, you build your team, one person at a time, right?
Yes.
So for me, it's much easier. I go, oh my God, I could do this with my eye closed because just required to take the product and people ask, I give them the product to share, to take, and then they feel good. And then I educated them. The person that I went to share the product sold the 7 herb lax and give them a whole bunch of product. A week later, they order $5,000-$6,000 in product.
Wow.
And they became a business leader and they put like $7,000-$8,000 thousand in PV, personal volume. They became a coordinator. So I think it's worth it. And I spent 12 hours, my first presentation, didn't know what I'm doing. I went through all the products in the boxes and then plus the PowerPoint presentation, the video. When we first started, we have 45 minutes long, 180 video, whatever video I found,
Right.
right? I went through everything and I confused the hell out of me and them. But hey, I make it work later. So it's worth it, right?
Exactly. And you've simplified dramatically.
Yes.
Yes.
And I get to simplify and I make it better and better. Now I can do presentation in less than 20, depend on your time. If I ask you, how much time you have. You say you have 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I can put the story together in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, depend on your desire.
Right.
That's how,
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm the best in the world, but I can be as good as I can be. That's the
Exactly.
confidence I have.
So what's your lifestyle like now, Nary?
Oh, my lifestyle, I love it. Look at the freedom I have. This is what I do. Sitting with my family right here. Peter Paul over there.
Yep.
His own thing. Tiffany over here does her own thing. And then by the beach, sitting here, all the awards and the rewards, I fill up everywhere in the house and no spot to put it. Travel the world, for over 6 years. And car payment got paid by Shockley for 27 years. Used up 6.5 years now. I still have, if I never made it to presidential, I still have another 21 years of car payments, $600 a month. I try a hybrid every 2 years. I try new cars. So Shockley gave us an opportunity to rebuild a relationship with my daughter that we never had in the past. Always argue, always fight, hate each other, and never had a good relationship because always working. I had money, no time, have time, no money. And now Shockley give me all of it. When I watched the video about Roger Bonnet called The Land of Ants, I'm like, how can you have all of this? You have Shockley, everything, you have it all. Now I experience the land of ants. So I believed him that the land of ants actually worked. Because when you prioritize Shockley will prioritize everything else that you want to do in your life. But if you put Shockley as the last thing you want to do, good luck, guys. Shockley will treat you the same way. And you got frustrated, you got burned, you lost your rank, you didn't have this, you didn't have that. Then you blame on your business leaders. You blame on Shockley that you couldn't make enough money to sustain, to be independent.
Where they could never, ever work a normal job with the amount of time that they put in when those kinds of thought processes start happening with them.
Yeah, look at you work for people 8 hours a day, 16 hours a day, and you still have the same lifestyle. You go nowhere in life, or you work paycheck to paycheck. Maybe you get a little bit richer, extra money, but by the time you get older, your health fall apart. And the money that you have saved up, like me, I end up spend back on bad health and more. I was wrecked. My system was shut down, and insurance paid 20%, 80%, I paid 20%, cash $135,000 for medical bills. I went to medical place, even Sinai, the biggest, the most famous medical hospital in the world, but it still couldn't help me. Yeah. All they say is drink a lot of water, do your own therapy, give me rubber bands. They go punch me here and there, charge me $75 an hour, and then send me to an MRI, an X-ray, everything. Couldn't find anything, but I'm so affected,
Yeah, and now look at you.
Yeah, look at me. I didn't even spend $135 on me, and I make 6 figures of income and help other people doing the same thing, the ripple effects, travel the world, and I feel better, more energy, excited about life. Every day I get up, I see the excitement, in this company. This is just the beginning, everyone. It's not even a start yet. To me, I feel like every day I'm the director, because I'm helping building a director every single minute.
Yep.
People come over, bringing people come over, train for training. So I'm so excited about helping these people, because when you go, like the last week we went on trip, we brought almost 100 people in our team or more.
Oh, that's so amazing. That had to...
Can you imagine? All expenses paid. I got my sister with me that brought her daughter that they never seen. My sister never earned her own trip. Her first time owned her own trip, and brought her daughter that never go out of country, never had passport. And her first time, they never had a relationship either. And she was so amazed how Shaklee gave her her life back or more and transformed. My mom was on medication for 30 medication, dementia, high blood pressure, heart attack, stroke, you name it. She got them all. Almost went blind. Almost got her feet cut off. Everything else, and her heart went out on her. Doctor that's told her she can only live for 3 months to 6 months died before her last year of ear and eyes infection. My mom now, you saw on Facebook, Paramount posted, the doctor took another medication off her. She only have 2 medications out of 35 medications.
That is amazing. But
Products.
that's why what we have is so valuable. That is exciting to hear.
Priceless.
Oh, you can't put a price on it. Yes.
For
That is
years,
cool.
every time I talk about Shaklee, it's endless. And I'm so excited. Some people like Tiffany say, Mom, all you do is talk about Shaklee. Why can I one day not mention Shaklee? But now she's doing the same thing.
That is awesome. That's awesome. So is Tiffany willing to come on and share with us her story now?
Tiff, now it's your turn.
How she went from negative to positive?
Hello.
Hi, this is Tif and she is Nary's daughter. And I'm very excited for her to share with you now because Tiffany came in because she was very negative. Well, I won't tell that part of the story, but she has moved up in the company as well. And I'll let her share her story because I love it as well. And it's very encouraging. And Tiff, how old are you?
I'm 26.
26 years old. That's when I got started in this business.
Wow.
26 years ago. But I didn't do it with the vim and vigor that you have. I love the fact that you have. I was married when I got in and I had a lot of I was working 2 other jobs, but still I have an amazing life today because I did it part-time. Now you've done it part-time, but a lot fuller than I did.
Yeah.
So go ahead and share your story.
It's hard to explain what I do for a living because when people ask, I say, I don't really know what I do. Because Shaklee is such a lifestyle and, I wake up and I use the products. It's my food and it's my shampoo and it's my conditioner and it's my skincare and it's everything. So when people ask me what I do, I honestly don't know what to say.
Are you still in school or did you graduate?
I'm still in school.
You're finished?
No, I'm still in school.
Okay, share that part of your story as well.
Yeah.
How did you from the beginning? Yeah.
When I first was introduced to Shaklee, I was working for $8 an hour at my father's restaurant, and he gave me the opportunity to work there because my mom had lost everything. So I got to go live with him and work for him. And it was just a chance to try to make some money on my own and take the burden off of my mom at the time because we were both going through a hard time. So I said, Mom, why don't you go get a job? She's like, why don't you go get a job? Why are you telling me to go get a job? So then I went to go get a job. And I worked 12-hour days some days and went to school part-time. And, I used to drive like 40 miles to come give my mom $20 for gas because still had her real estate and insurance license active. So, I just wanted to help her out a little bit. It's not much, but, something. So for a while, we didn't see each other because I was focused on just not being a burden, basically just working and letting her get back up on her feet. So I didn't see her for a few months and I became very tired. I went to the gym every day, but because I didn't have proper nutrition. I tried to go to GNC, buy products from there. It didn't really work, So to sit here on my mom's couch, this was like, a year later, and she had gotten introduced to Shaklee, and she said, why don't you take these? A vitalizer. And I was like, no, this is for old people. Got it.
Now look who's older.
So, I noticed that she had been feeling better because prior to Shaklee, I was the one that was calling the emergency ambulance for her when she was having anxiety attacks and, you know, all of the issues with her intestines and that stuff. So when I saw her, I was like, wow, Mom, you look really good. What are you doing? And she said, why don't you take these? And I was like, no, it's okay. It's for old people.
Or sick people, right?
Yeah, or sick people. And so I went back to my $8 an hour job, and I heard my mom had become very successful. And so I thought, this is my chance to go to college, you know, to go to a good college, and maybe she can help me pay for it. So I proposed this idea to her, and she said, only if you do Shackley. And I said, yeah, okay, I'll do it. So then I go to school. She helps me for my first semester. And
where are you going to school?
at Harvard.
Yeah.
Yes. But when I came back from my first semester, I ended up looking worse than I did before because I let all the products sit in the corner and expire. And she didn't look at the door. So basically she gave me a choice and said, if you don't do this, then good luck paying for school next semester.
Oh, wow.
And I said, man, I really got to do something. So I started reluctantly. I had a slow start. I wasn't always like this, you know, because I just didn't see, well, we were conditioned our whole life to go to school and get a job. So that was the only thing that I kind of thought was the right plan, except that both of my parents really didn't have jobs. My dad had a job for like 15 years, but then ended up becoming a business owner. And my mom was always an independent contractor. So I never actually saw people that had jobs.
Yeah.
But that's what school said, you know. High school said, you go to school, get a job. So I said, no, I want to do this. I want to do this the right way and like all this stuff. And so I thought that I was just doing Shackley just to make my mom happy. But then I started like getting into it. I started researching it. I started to see like how environmental sustainability was becoming a trend and how Shackley had been the roots of that movement and how the philosophy fit in with what I was doing. So it ended up being a passion that I had. And I didn't buckle down and do the business seriously until I started to see my friends graduate into debt. And they were kind of lost and confused, and they thought they were going to get a job that they loved right away, but didn't. And so as I saw this happening, at the same time, I was earning car bonuses. I didn't even have a car. They gave me a train payment instead.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't want a car. It was too much of a hassle to get a car in Boston. So they gave me a train payment, and I was going on trips around the world during my finals, a week before my finals. And so I lived a little bit of a different lifestyle, right? So it clicked. I was like, I'm sitting on a gold mine. This idea of residual was introduced to me. This idea of leveraging other people to do what you're doing and helping them earn income, and seeing the impact that made on our community especially was why I fell in love with the business and why I committed to it. And I said, you know, if young people could have a sense of security in terms of their skill set and being able to build something on the side while still going to school, if that's what they want to do, then that would help relieve a lot of the anxiety that's happening with the 20-somethings right now, right? And so I made the decision. At the time, I was only making about $1,000, if $1,000 a month at that time. And I made a decision to become a master coordinator. And that month we went to Maui. I prepared and everything. I studied the compensation plan. They took the products more seriously. And I was getting ready to go talk to someone on the plane because Sean Gray had that story about him talking to someone on the plane and then his business exploded in China. So I'm going to go talk to someone on the plane. So I get all prepared and we're going to go to this trip, on the Sunset trip to Maui. And we get on the plane and no one sits next to me. Nobody sits next to me. Like, what? So long story short, though, we get to the hotel and we meet Natasha Sparks at the Enterprise. And basically their team doubled my business from 10,000 in volume to 20. And then in a year, it went from 20 to 30 to 40 to 50. 60. So my business grew 4 or 5 times in a year of where I started because of just that decision that was made that like, I don't want to suffer like the rest of my 20-somethings. You know, I want to have choices. I want to be able to actually use my degree to empower other people rather than to just simply survive and get a job and pay for rent and student loans and all that stuff. So that's where the passion came from. And since then, it's kind of just self-driving. It became a lifestyle. And I don't really know how to do anything else.
Cool. So you're still going to school and you're still working this on the side. But what kind of an income are you making as a part-time student?
Well, at my rank as a key coordinator, it's a 6-figure income on average. So, and plus the trips and plus the car bonuses and plus the this and the that. So it's not bad to earn that level of an income. What most Americans don't get to earn.
Where all your other friends that are in college right now are probably going in debt as much every year, being they're at Harvard. I don't know what that is a year versus making an income. And by the time you graduate you're going for an MBA, right?
Oh yeah, I will be.
Yeah. So by the time you graduate, you will be making already what most people make with that degree.
Exactly. The idea of paying to learn how to build a business, $200,000 versus getting paid to learn how to build a business. So Shackley will pay me to learn how to build a network marketing business, which is now super trendy and people are doing it all over the world. And so I get then paid as a master coordinator of $200,000 on average
250
to build a business rather than to pay the school to teach you how to do it. Still have to
I know. And I've always said that if the kids would spend the amount of money and time that it takes, because to get a degree, you have to spend, how many hours a week do you have to spend studying?
A while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your class time, if you put the two of those times together and just spent that learning and building a Shackley business for the 4 years of all the money that people spend to go to college.
Right.
Because I don't have a college degree either. And I know so many different people that don't have that have an amazing income and an amazing lifestyle because of the drive and the vision.
And here's the thing, I'm not saying that going to school is a bad thing. You know,
No.
It's definitely not. It's just know why you're going and you get time to figure it out. But at the same time, just like the importance that parents are putting on, a lot of the times when you ask these kids why they're going to school and they're studying what they're studying, they say because my parents told me to, because they're paying for it and because that's what they want. And then you see by the end of the 4 years they're $100,000 in debt, or maybe their parents did pay for it and their parents are in debt and the kid still's unhappy.
Yes.
Like just going to school is amazing as long as you do it to pursue your interest and your passion. In this day and age, it's not a terrible idea, you know, to pursue passion. Before it was like you have to survive. Now, the way that we're living now is just so much more luxurious, even at a baseline level, than what it was, you know, decades.
But most of the kids will spend how many years paying that college debt off?
Forever. There are people in there that die before their college debt is paid off.
Yes. And that's so sad to me. And that's why the opportunity for young people today is so huge.
Yeah.
Yes. So, well, I really, really appreciate both of you girls sharing your stories, and hopefully we'll share this and it will make a difference for other people down the road as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.